Understood. Thank you. Meron akong dalawang speeches, actually. The one is well written, scholastic a little bit, but it does not respond to the times, our world today. It speaks of your the sacrifice of your parents and graduation to this moment to whom it rightfully belongs to you and your future. Maganda ho ang pagkasulat, but we have to be flexible in the sense that I'd like to talk something that would have an impact on our lives today. Papunta kasi ako dito, binabasa ko yung Inquirer, and in that front page, there was an item which says, si Deles, the author of the peace panel on the government side, said that there will be more blood and bloodshed if there is no agreement between the MILF. Masakit to pakinggan kasi lahat naman tayo Pilipino. And before I forget, I'd like to greet Judge Oragan and si Benny Badillis sa syudad ninyo. Magkakasama kami noon yan sa dormitoryo sa law school pa ako. Kami. So before I forget, I'd like to just greet them, and I'm happy that I was able to visit the city. Meron kasi yung tubuan. So, what do we expect in the days to come? Can we expect a better Philippines to provide, to generate work for all of us? For you, to workforce in a few months. You know, beyond all of this chat about your sacrifice and the first 20 years in this university. Alam mo, I'm still disturbed by the events evolving in the central international. I'd like to just shorten it, but let me relate to you the trip of Magellan from Spain or from wherever to the Philippines in 1521. And I will connect that 1521 incident of the first imperialist landing on shore to Mamapasan. Alam mo, 1521, Magellan landed in the Philippines. Accordingly, he went down to the shores and planted the cross of Spain, and announcing to everybody, to all and sundry, maybe the natives over there, that I now claim, says, I now claim all of these islands in the name of the King of Spain to pay for my voyage. And I will call all the natives here, the Indios, the natives to them, as Filipinos, to honor King Philip, who sponsored this trip. You know, by that alone, that started the first trouble. Simply because 1 century earlier, as you would know if you look into your book, Islam, the religion, was already planted here in Mindanao firmly. Kasi kung tawagin mo ng Pilipino, named after Philip, our Muslim brothers at that time would never release the idea of being called Filipino. They cannot be the subject of the Christianity, for that is Christianity translated. Doon pa lang nagkagulunan. But anyway, Magellan, aside from planting the cross, brought in Christianity. I have no issue about religion. I would not even talk about it, simply because whatever your faith may be, somehow religion provides a deep basis and the shortcomings of learning the value of life. Maybe nagkulang yung mga nanay niya pati tatay, and for those who never got from school. Religion comes in. It morphs us to our beliefs and values in life. So wala ako doon. Ang problema lang kasi dito, pagpunta nila dito, dinala nila yung musket to be the rifles of the other world and gunpowder and cannon. Dinala sa baba and started to brutalize the Navy. First, the Visayas. Loaded, then to Luzon. There was something very lacking in Visayas and Mindanao at that time. And I would maybe admit that there were some settlements, more of people settling in the islands of Visayas, but not enough to stop the inroads of imperialism. At hindi na kaya yung bomba pati yung gunpowder. The first time nakita ng mga kapatid, mga lolo natin, lolo ng lolo. So, the subjugation was very fast. Now, you ask, why? Why was it that it took them 400 years to stay in the Republic of the Philippines now, ang lugar natin? Bakit sila tumagal dito for 400 years? And how came about na itong mga Bisaya, mga Tagalog, Bicolano, Ilonggo, ang bilis ng conversion? We almost after, sabi ng mga libro ng pare, after 100 years, medyo attuned na tayo doon. Tinanggap na natin the Spanish way of life. They started the landlord-tenant. They gave the vast tract of lands to the friar, friar lands. And yung iba, it was in the name of the Spaniards at that time. And the Filipinos, kawawa naman at toil, day after day, just to feed his family and a lot of Espanyol kasi sila rin. Tinatanong natin mong gawin, including the Muslim, maganda man ang buhay natin. But originally, we are part of the Sri Visayas Empire of the Malay race. Bakit ito ganito? Pag-ising namin sa umaga, yung conquistadores and the Guardias Civil were only in place, imposing discipline, brutalizing the Filipino, inflicting cruelty, and in the later years, healing the death of before Miyong misconstrue me, I'd like to make a pledge that my name is Rodrigo Duterte. I am a Filipino. I cannot change that name. It's up to the decision to look for some other name. Marcos would have enjoyed Maharlika. Kasi ayaw man niya yung Filipino because it is his subjugated name. But anyway, bakit nadala yung because sabi ng mga libro, the Visayas, the tribes, Visayas, Ilonggo, Ilocano, Tagalog, they never had a concept of what really God wants or is part-time, so what? Wala silang ito. Basta they adore the mountains as holy, on special occasions, during eclipse maybe, they terrorize them. They would look up at the sky and they would just say that something there of a universal mind controlling the lives and destiny of men. Yun ang and for the first time, to go by the old Tocatins, barbarians tayo, kaya wala doon tayong religion, then the Spaniards showed the face of God for the first time. Pinakita nila yung mukha ng Diyos. At doon nakita ng mga Bisaya, Ilonggo, pati nakita nila ang mukha pala ng Diyos. Mukha nila in this day. So the rapport was already there, even by the pictures. And eventually we accepted the Spanish rule, the colony of Spain for 400 years. Then the Americans came, getting into war with Spain. winning to all. Sabi nga yung armada ni Legazpi, binasak ni Tiwi, that's why there's a Tiwi part. And the Americans stayed for 50 years. Alam mo, when they came, they established Spaniards. The first central government was in Mindanao. It was a unitary type of government. That because there are few aristocrats abroad, ruled by one man, would like to have it. But in progressive cities, Australia, Malaysia, Brazil, they have the parliament. Tayo retained presidential unitary type. Yung presidente dito is actually the personification of the Governor General, the Spaniard, the Americans later on, a highly centralized body. So the Muslims of Mindanao voted. And when the Americans, they also voted. At ang masakit pa dito, if you're a gun enthusiast, sasabihin sa iyo na the 45 caliber pistol was invented by Ford company to come up with a gun strong enough with the large bullet diameter so that it can stop the Moro or its gun. Ito, kung agawin ang lupa, magkuratado ba talaga? Ano yung pinagmamalaki yun ng mga Amerikano? At sila yung napunta dito, sila naman yung pinagpapatay yung mga Muslims. So there was a fight. Then they created the Republic. The Republic of the Philippines was inaugurated in 1946. Alam mo ang Amerikano, instead of giving us the form of government from where they came from, maintain the unitary type of government. Because they had an agenda. The agenda of the Americans was that even if we have already a republic, they would have enjoyed or like to enjoy the still resources of this land. Kaya yung 1946, there was the appended chapter. And what is that? Parity, right? Parity ba? Tabla. Tabla in the sense that even if they are no longer the authority here, we Filipinos give them the right to still exploit, develop, and make money from our country. O kayo masyadong maniwala na inubos ng mga lager ng Pilipinas at Paway. Actually, far from it. If you go to America, the nicest building, even the National Library, the paneling, the woods there on the floor, they're all Philippine mahogany. Ayan ang problema dyan sa Amerikano. Then they created this republic and sustained the war, the rebellion, which started during the Spaniards, continued during the American time, and until today, we are fighting a very dirty war, killing each other. Hanggang ngayon, hindi na maariglo-ariglo. Eh, lahat naman tayong pagdating natin, tama ang mga Muslim. Kasi sabi ko, I am a Filipino, I love my country. It is the land of my birth. It is the home of my people. O kayo huwag kamali, kasi magsabi ako na they have every right just like the Bisaya and the Ilocanos and the Tagalog. When you woke up one day, meron ng angkon. There was somebody claiming the land which was not really part of the race. Hindi naman. Yun ang until today, today's newspaper, sabi ko, i-connect ako nga sa Magellan dito sa mga kasaraw. This panel chairman, si Delis, talking, tignan mo nga sa the right side, there's an item there, front page, about spilling of blood, more blood, more. Ang akin kasi, I would have wanted to talk about scholastic and everything. especially the sacrifices of your parents. Pero nandito naman tayo. Siguro naman, papasalamat na kayo sa mga kulang nila. But I have to talk of what ahead, the internationalization. It will be good if we can find peace in arrive at a certain agreement to everybody's content. I mean, is free of the communal war. Then we will go international. For as a matter of fact, 54% of the total export earnings, the agricultural product comes from Mindanao. 54, highest tayo kailangan. Alam mo kasi ang masakit dito, I have been mayor of Davao 23 years. Laki talagang politiba. My father, there was only one Davao at the time. Wala pa yung Oriental, Northeast, o Gumbal, pati Occidental, ang Davao City. Just one huge province, ang capital. And my father was there, and he saw already the trouble on the horizon. Kaya abogado yun, nakaintindi na exploitation niya. So, gano'n, ang problema, is itong mga official, whether bright or bobo, they sit there for 6 years and after trying to fix what ails this country and then go out of the office after the term end. Magbukas na lang kamay, tapos na ang period namin. O bahala na kayo dyan. Were they able to make some amends to make it peaceful? Or in the tenure, the aggravated situation? Iniiwanan tayo ng problema yan. Pero sa helicopter, nabasa ko ito, uminit yung ulo ko. Kasi binasa ko rin, nakuha ng wire, basa ko rin. Magpunta dito. We are the sophisticated people. The Muslims are. Sabay man tayo. Tayo mga Christians, we accepted eventually Christianity. And Christianity is the religion of compassion. Ikita mo yung Diyos ng Christianity, pinako sa cross. God mo, tapos nakapako sa cross. It is sacrifice. And the Quran has something to do with the lives of people. It governs from sa Diyos, pati papunta na Allah. So, ayun, mag-away-away tayo. And we have this BBL. It was finished, at least dito sa panel, government, pati sa Moro, Islamic. And while it is being considered in Congress, may mga bright boys naman dyan sa police, pinasok yung mga pasano. You know, kung papasok ka sa bahay, tapos sabihin mo may magnanakaw dyan sa mga kwarto ng bahay ko, pero pumasok ka na kaagad, hindi mo pinaalam sa akin. Ang kabaril na. Dahil I said that itong mga taga-Maynila, palibas ng mga bugok itong mga Tagalog, hindi nila akala nila I was making a brief for the Moro people. I do not side with, I always side with the group. Pag ako kailangan, half of my family, my grandchildren are Muslim. Ang nanay ko, dinana ng lolo ko, Chinese. Eh, dinala niya Cebu. Umalis siya dito sa Iligan. Talagang papatayin siya. Dinala niya Cebu. Was a daughter of a Maranao. Kasi man din ako kailangan ako, at after my father, Christianity. Pero, pre-worshipper ako. Hindi ako na masyadong, hindi ako naniwala ng, I have to kneel down before so many saints. Hindi naman natin alam kung sino yung mga ulol na yan, ano kayong ginawa sa buhay nila noon. We do not even have the pictures of the, tapos sabihin lang, saint, luhod-luhod ka na dyan. I only kneel before Allah, the God. I do not kneel to anybody. So that's the problem. What's the solution? Ewan ko. Nandyan pa sila sa ano. Pinoy, sa Malacanang pa. He's kicking his fingers until now. Ano, sinira mo. Meron na tayong mapag-usapan. Pumasok ka doon, patay mo isang tao in exchange for 44 lives. Whether that 44 happened to be Christians or the 44 would have been another 44 Moro children or women killed there. Ngayon, kung naman ang Council of Elders, sila Ayala, sila Osos Marius. Kasi bright itong mga tapos pumunta kay Ramos, then eventually to how many decades? Sabi ko nga, mag-battleground tayo. Hindi naman sa Iloilo. Hindi naman sa Capiz doon sa lugar ni Roas. Dito sa Mindanao. How many explosions in my city? Dalawa sa simbahan. I'm not saying it was the handiwork of the MI or MF. For anybody who was a great government can do it. Hindi ka kailangan. And nowadays, when you fight a rebellion, you do not have to raise warm bodies by the thousands. Patawag mo lang yung nag-training na kay Marwan, bigyan mo tag-5 granada, send them to different places in Mindanao, and tell them by tomorrow at exactly 1 o'clock, which is now, bitawan ninyo yung granada. Bigyan mo tag-3, tag-5. O, sino ang kawawa? Tayo. The fact is, hindi naman rin alam ng mga lahat ng mga kapatid na Muslim na gusto talaga natin na magkaibigan tayo at tumira dito tayo sa Mindanao mapayapa. And that's as I said by the president who introduced me. Ako doon I share everything. There's a vice mayor who is elected. Yung anak ko yung buang na yun. Tapos, I have deputy mayors. One for the Maranao, one for Iranon, one for Maguindanao. Then another for Sama, that's the Muslims of Davao. Then there's a Muslim deputy mayor for the Tausug, Yakan, and the sub-tribes there. But the feudal system really works dito sa even by Quran. It's almost sanctioned. Kaya amo na sana yung the world today, if you want international relation. Itong Amerikano pumasok sa Vietnam only to retreat in shame and humiliation. Pumasok sila sa Iraq, gusto nila patayin si Saddam. On the text, there was weapons of mass destruction. Wala silang nakuha. Patay si Saddam. They started to create trouble in Libya, who offered the good offices. So makaintindihan tayo nung panahon ni Imelda Marcos, she wanted to sign the treaty known as the Tripoli Agreement. Yan nga, sabi ko. Yan yung Tripoli Agreement covers a situation, real estate in Mindanao. Yung sumunod yan was the SPCP arm. The arm muna, the fundamentals of the arm before. Then SPCPD. Then you have the arm ngayon. And to top it all, you have the BBL. if you put them side by side and make something out of it, it shows that it is really convoluted, does not solve anything. Kaya ako naman, I'm appealing to all na sa Davao nga, 2 beses ang simbahan. I'm not saying no particular group or persons. Wala akong airport 1 beses, Pantalan 1 beses. All in all, how many lives you lost? Easily, far and wide in between those years. Well, 79 lives. Only. Not so to mention the ones killed by government forces while they entered the territory of Maguindanao. Yan ang mahirap eh. Noon sila, we elected them, we think they're good. Per force. Thinking they are good is a fait accompli because we elected them. Now, ganito ang binibigay sa atin. So think about it actually. Kaya sinasabi ko, akala siguro nila nagkakampanya ako. Pero you might as well check it out. You are near your province. Ang pumunta talaga sa akin, si Pimentel, the Senator, the Elder, si Kanoy, and mga Osminya. Do you know that in Cebu, they sing di Bayang Magilo in Bisaya? Ganun kabuang ang mga Bisaya rin doon. That's the place where my father comes from. Danao siya. Sila nagsabi, Rod, ikaw naman yung medyo may bata and you have the exposure. Yan mo na lang ang Mindanao. So we started. Why? Because if the BBL fails, sabi ni, basahin niyo yung newspaper ngayon, Deles would say, there will be bloodshed. Utang, bakit tayo mag-bloodshed sa kanila, sa kaugok nila? We just might as well talk to our Moro brothers. Ako, I don't mind being a vice janitor. I once said to Noor, sabi ko, Noor, wala akong fantasy about Christians. Only the Christians know how to run government. Pwede ka. And I could work in your office. Water boy, you want anything. But if you rule, you must see to it that you do not have people who will oppress other people. There must be equality in all. There must be an equitable distribution for all. Otherwise, pag hindi mo man ang ginawa yan, you will be facing a revolt. And that revolt will be led by me in my city. Kasi my lamentation is just a few months. And Aquino is going out. Sa panahon na ito, he seems to be nonchalant. Wala na, parang hinayaan na, discouraged or whatever. I'm not criticizing the president. I am just talking about his the things which he cannot do. Yun ang message ko sa inyo. We have to fix Mindanao. Mindanao, magpunta ka sa Luzon, I toured the whole the breadth and length of this country on a motorbike. Doon sa taas, going to Gigaraw, mag-ikot ka doon sa Pagudpod, the tip. Swerte na lang kung may intending pasalubong ka sa sakyanan. But in Mindanao, day and night, it is a busy body with cargos being loaded, imports being taken away from the ports. Davao, there's never a dull moment. Pareho ang traffic sa araw sa gabi. because there is a strong economy. And it could only mean one thing. Strong economy, domestic or otherwise, would translate more jobs. Davao, sobra-sobra ang investments. Halos lahat doon may trabaho. Yung call center lang, pakarami. There are about 30,000 people that are working sa outsourcing. So I hope that we can really have peace, not only kami dito sa gobyerno, not only about the Muslims, but all of us must push. Kaya hindi tayo mag-asinso nitong unitary type. Palitan mo talaga ng federal. Federal is simply you collect the taxes, retain most of it, send your contribution to the federal government. Ngayon, yung mayor ninyo, pati lahat ng resibo na may tax. Kaya may empleyado kayo sa City Hall na hindi appointed ng mayor. It's the auditor and the treasurer. The auditor sees that the amount collected is good dito sa gobyerno and the treasurer sends the money. Papel lang naman yan. Lahat. Tapos ibalik sa atin o konti. Davao, maswerte na lang siguro. Ako wala. Every year, kami si Tibong Badillas, nag-abot kami sa Congress. Ang magtigas lang doon, there's a two-room affair dyan sa Diyan yan sila maghati-hati ng pera. Parang bibingka, ito sa... wag yan kasi talo tayo dyan. Still the patronage. And yet, the city pays taxes. Ang mahirap pa dyan yung open-ended, yung mga projects na hindi natatapos. And even the LRT, makukuha na lang ng bagong BOT o BT, kinurakot pa. And the ambassador of Czechoslovakia had to sign an affidavit which says there was a shakedown. Tapos yung pera natin, investment doon, kasali tayo. Hindi kayo nakasakay kayo, train. Kasi basig ka, wala mo. And yet, we subsidize the goddamn, because pera natin, 65% of the total structure sa Manila. Showcase Kaya mga mayor na ginawa doon, hindi man kanila yan. That's all national government. Sabihin mo, may city. Anong ka, nabuang ka dyan, private man niya? Or do you have to claim that? Just like Davao, even before I became mayor, nandiyan naman yung mga buildings. Sabi ko, see Davao, how beautiful the tall buildings are. Uy, buang, hindi na imo. Private yan. Yan ang, think about it. Actually, I'm short of an answer for the problem. But if we can talk as one, huwag tayong, you don't have to go to war again. Kung gusto na lang ninyo, lolo ko Chinese, lola ko Maranao, tinana ng buang yung lola ko, din na doon sa Cebu, kaya patayin talaga sa dito. Kung gusto mo, palabanin na natin yung Spratly. Bakit tayo magpatayan? For what? Kalaki itong Mindanao na to. Share na lang tayo. And for the meantime, if you really want internationalization, you can do it when it is already a peaceful town. Papasok ang mga Arab. Ganoon rin, nagpunta kami ng Middle East. Mga Arab, ganoon rin. Arab investors, mahirap kasi magulo. May application sila dyan sa NEDA. Would you believe it? It would take 48 signatures for them to have the clearance. When you do that, when you allow persons to hold money in discretion, kagaya ng PDAP, look what happened. Tag 50 million sila. Then when they receive the SARO advice na nandyan na yung pera, they would send the papers to the police. Na police washes the money. Labhan niya ba? Hilimpihon. Then punta doon sa Kahiro, bayad. Napoles gets the 15% of all the projects, yung iba balik sa bulsa mo. That's what happened. That is why there are two issues dito ngayon. I'm going to end by saying there are two very, very important issues. It's money na sila lang ang they took upon themselves like gods to. Sige, ako mag-ano lang dito. Abad, ganda na mga, well, sila, because they have the discretion. They have the money and the discretion to whom it should be given. And even in the lower echelons of government, pag ginanon mo yan, there is always corruption. Kasi pag hindi rin naibigay yung BBL, papalag din yan sila. So ang gambit ko ngayon, ang baraha ko, tinatapon ko, is ito, yan ang card ko. Federal na lang tayo. Kasi kung ibibigay mo yan sa BBL, ibigay mo yan kay Miswari. Ibigay mo yan doon sa mga Ilonggo. Ibigay mo yan doon sa Bisaya. There's going to be a lot of disorder. Why? Because if you give to one Filipino an added benefit over the others, that could violate the constitutional provision of that no man shall be denied the equal protection of the law. Equality. Eh di mapipilitan ka rin mag-BBL ka sa lahat na. Kulderiera, as I said, is autonomous. They'll be the first one to ask. So gano'n na lang. Alam ko ginutom kayo dyan sa kwento na yan. But, you're about the age na who can make a difference na yan. Boboto kayo. Pero ako, nasabihin ako nagtutakbo ako ng presidente. Ay, magagalit lang yung mga kasama ko. Si Mayor Quijano has been there almost every week. Sabi ko sa kanila, Adre, kasi ayaw kong tumakbo. Ayaw ko talaga tumakbo. I mean, tingnan mo sa Facebook. It does not interest me. So, kung accolades lang, honors, I said I've been mayor for 22 years, one time congressman, tapos one time vice mayor ako noong anak ko nanununtok, bubugbog ng sheriff. I have enough accolades to last me a lifetime. Wala na yan sa akin yung presidente. Magalit sila, sabi ko, but I have to tell the truth. I do not have the energy anymore. Noon, ang energy ko, ganoon kataas. Ngayon, ganoon na lang. For what use? Well, you have to call Pfizer. Kailangan makakuha ka sa Pfizer. This energy, and if Pfizer would help you, it would be a short but beautiful energy. Kasi ang Pfizer ang gumagawa ng Viagra. Maraming salamat po.
Chancellor Socarno.